What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going over the best small and mid caps to buy right now. In my opinion, there's going to be a big run coming up, a rotation into the small and mid caps and growth stocks pretty soon here. So I think after tech earnings, we're going to fall away from big tech, the large cap stocks, and start falling back into these small caps. They have the most upside, the best risk reward right now. So I am looking at quite a few. There's a ton out there, so feel free to drop your favorite ones in the comments as well. We're going to go over the charts, any news that's relevant, and let's get into it. All right, so before we get into any individual stocks, here's the Russell 2000 on the weekly chart. So we can see that it got to a very critical point of breaking down, but had a very nice day of recovery, currently sitting around 218.5. Really looking for this to go back to 230 or so in the coming months, and we're going to see how the rest of the small caps trade along with it. So now let's get into some individual stock picks. All right, so first up is the Tattooed Chef. Now many people are familiar with this stock. I like buying this one under $20. I think that's where you get the best risk reward ratio. Now we know a lot of people talk about this one on YouTube. Financial Education talks about it all the time. He is very bullish on the company long term. Meet Kevin is bearish on it. So two popular influencers with different opinions. I happen to like the stock. I think the company's doing great things. They're expanding into more stores and furthering their product line. However, they did get a downgrade from Zacks Investment Research from a hold to a sell rating. So we'll see how things go when earnings come up. I think that will really, do a lot for the stock if they can report some solid earnings and show some nice progress. We're going to look over the chart really quickly. All right, so taking a look at the weekly chart, you can see this wedge is getting very tight. Even with the recent sell-off, Tattooed Chef held its ground very well. It looks very strong among the small caps, and I do think earnings will take this stock higher. My personal price target when it breaks out is 24, back up to this top wick right here. And once it reaches that, my game plan is to either take some profits off the table or sell some covered calls even higher up. And if it happens to hit that and I have to sell my shares, I'm okay with that. But that is my game plan for Tattooed Chef. Seen a lot of options flow for Tattooed Chef, especially come August. So I'm excited for this one, and I do believe that this is going to break out big. Second up is Desktop Metal, and I recently picked this one up for a multi-week, multi-month swing. Anything under 950, I think that will pay well. If you can get it under 9, like it was the other day, near its 52-week low, obviously that is the bottom, and that is what will pay you the most. This one has an all-time high of $35. I think there's a lot of upside here. Leaps are pretty cheap as well, so that's something to keep in mind if you can't pick up 100 shares or 200 shares. Recent news for Desktop Metal, they did buy Aerosint to add printing to AM 2.0 portfolio. This kind of stock is just going to take a couple years to really, build out their portfolio and prove themselves. They have a very large TAM. 3D printing has hardly been tapped into, so excited to see where this company goes. My plan for them right now, I have a couple hundred shares, probably sell some when it does pump up and then possibly keep some. I'm definitely thinking about that. Looking at the chart here, it's in a falling wedge. Earnings are coming up. Pretty excited to see what this does. I think it's bottomed out, so we'll see how it goes when earnings approaches. But Desktop Metal, I think this will pay well. My first price target's around $12.50 and then $15. Another stock that is pretty beaten down is BarkBox. So this one recently hit its 52-week low, $7.93, and that happened the other day. The chart shows $7.99, but yeah, definitely hit its low. It's recovered a little bit since then. It almost hit back to $9, but sold off. So this one's pretty volatile right now. It is still in a downtrend, as you can see, trying to break out of that. So this is one, they do have earnings coming up as well. You're going to have patience with these. I swung BarkBox already, but if it does go back down to $8 or less, that's where I'm probably going to be picking up some further out call options or just load shares for the swing again. Next up is FUBO TV, and we have seen this one up at $62 before, and recently during the May sell-off, it did come all the way down to 16. So if you see it under 20, I do think that is a good buy. It's in an okay buy zone right now, decent upside potential. FUBO recently announced that it had signed another market access agreement for its forthcoming sportsbook. And the fourth state, FUBO TV, is expected to enter when it launches FUBO Sportsbook in the fourth quarter. So that's just an upcoming catalyst FUBO has. One thing I wanted to check out was this weekly chart, cup and handle, with earnings approaching. This looks pretty promising, so I am keeping FUBO on watch. And if I can get a good entry for some further out expiration calls, I will probably be getting into FUBO. And wrapping things up, we have SOFI. I believe the last leg down is going to be 1470. We'll obviously see how that goes. Earnings coming up as well. We had some pipe selling off, and you can see it's very oversold here on the daily. But I do think we bounce pretty soon here. We have some upcoming catalysts such as Q2 earnings, bank charter, student loans starting back up. So I have been loading shares, and I did pick up a 2023 $20 strike call. Then we have Jumia, another one that I'm watching. This one actually broke down lower than expected, but if it does go, 21 or less, I will be adding Jumia. C3 AI almost got to my buy zone for leaps. I have shares, but if this did come back down to all-time lows, I will consider buying some leaps. It almost got there, but it bounced today. And then I also created this spreadsheet for the Patreon, which I will share with you guys as well. But it shows the small and mid-cap plays, the current price of them, the buy zone that I think would yield the best results, their 52-week highs, their price targets, and a bit about the company. So everything is linked here. Now, I think that these buy zones can change depending on market conditions, but I just like to scale in and average down, and I like to play in the money or at the money leaps. I think they pay the best, and there's no stress associated with them. So feel free to check this out. It'll be linked in the description. So that's pretty much it. That's what I'm going to be watching in the market. I think there's some pretty good upside potential with all of these, and I'm going to be looking to scale into some of these in the coming weeks to play out in the coming months. So this is another TA type video. In the coming weeks, I will be back to making more in-depth videos and due diligence videos. But if you enjoy these, drop a comment, drop a like. Please like and subscribe, and have a good one.